Hi everyone, Ethan King here, Goldwell National Artist, and I'm here to share with you my chai blending technique using the SilkLift Clay Lightener. On my beautiful model here, Alina, we're going to be working on her natural texture, and using the clay lightener, I'm going to make her curls pop. For Alina's placement today, we want to be mindful of the cut that we gave her. When cutting curly hair, usually the perimeter of the shape expands further out than it does if it were straight. Straight hair collapses and falls down on top of each other, where curly hair is going to push off and expand outward. So for the color placement technique, I need to make sure that she has color all throughout the perimeter of her entire shape. Underneath, there's going to be a little bit more depth, but we do want to make sure we also focus under here because we want to make sure that at the bottom of her shape, she still has brightness. I'll be working off of zigzags to create a very natural effect within her curls. When you think about curl clumps, you have to realize that they live in different areas on the scalp. So grabbing from different areas on each curl will allow for soft dimensional blends with also bold dimensional pops. So as you can see, I'm painting V's in the bottom sections here. This is gonna allow for some brightness to come up along the edges, but saturation is gonna happen down in the bottom of this section. This will allow, when this shrinks back up, to give her that pop towards the ends, but allow for the depth to continue to live within the base of this. I always like to start with a lower developer. I'll be starting with 6%, and then as I move forward, I might bump up to 9%. This allows for some wiggle room if you take a long time. The best part about using a clay lightener for open air balayage is that when you drop your next section, you don't need to worry about the product transferring. Because of the clay in the product, it will actually create a hard shell on the outer portion of the product as it's processing. So you don't need to worry about bleed spots, and you just drop the next section down. One thing to be sure of when painting on curly hair is that you have tension during the entire process. Curls love to shrink up, and when they start to shrink up from getting the product on them, you will start to get bends and you'll have to hit the pockets at different angles. But if you keep it tight, you'll be able to hit it exactly how you need to and to paint it onto a smooth surface. So there are two types of applications that I typically like to do. You can either paint in V's or you can paint in W's. Essentially, the main difference is just depending on how many high points you want to have on that section. In this section, I'll be doing a W because I'm working with a little bit of a wider section and I want to bring a high point up into the center. As we move up to the top of the head, I want to make sure that I'm bringing more brightness. So what we'll do, as opposed to saturating about halfway down these sections, I will actually start saturating a little bit higher and then feathering up towards the root. Now that we've reached the top section, you want to make sure that you're not leaving any depth. So grab from the top and zigzag. This will be the depth pocket that you leave out from underneath, and we'll be balayaging this piece on top. Now that we're in the front sections, I want to make sure that a lot of the brightness lives in the front, but also we need to be ensuring that all of the brightness is going to live on the outside of the shape out here. So always assess the cut and make sure that the layering is going to show all of the color that's needed. I'm going to softly back comb. So if you're going to over direct forward, be sure that you gently glide backwards. And a nice little tip is you can always grab tiny pieces of cotton and place underneath for the processing so it's not resting on their skin. So now I will be doing a color melt technique where I melt with Colorance a deeper formula at the root, and melting it into a lighter formula will only enhance that natural balayage look that we're going for. So the formula I'm putting at her root area is going to be 6N and 6A, and I will be melting that into the second formula being 8BV and 8GB. Using the gold that's already in there, we've lifted her to a beautiful level 8G. This will only enhance what's there, but also neutralize some of the unwanted warmth. I want her to feel warm, but controlled warmth, and I want it to give more beige than gold. Here's the final look on my model Alina. As you can see, her curls are popping and the integrity of her curl is still there. Now with beautiful dimension in her color, she's ready to go. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching.